how Banner Health is preparing for a winter surge in COVID-19 cases across Arizona.
Plus, heart health during the holidays, why experts are saying that being isolated this season can increase your stress levels.
And later this half hour on Break It Down, how age-old traditions are formed.
Cronkite News starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Cronkite News on Arizona PBS. I'm Megan Marples.
And I'm Spencer Hardenberg. Thank you for joining us.
Over the past week, the U.S. surpassed 12 million COVID-19 cases and more than 257,000 deaths, according to data from Johns Hopkins University. It's expected to get worse as people gather for Thanksgiving this week. Abigail Verowick is joining us now with how Banner Health plans to handle the holidays. Abby?
This morning, Banner Health's chief clinical officer gave a virtual update, saying they're predicting to reach 125% care capacity in the next few weeks. While this surge will be stressful, Banner officials say they're prepared to meet this demand and they do not expect triaging. Officials are also urging the public to take the necessary precautions to reduce further spread of the virus.
For those in Arizona, if you reflect back to the summer, what happened after Memorial Day weekend really catalyzed a significant surge and curve of COVID-19. Thanksgiving is a 4-day holiday and is right around the corner. And as difficult as it is, as difficult as the year 2020 has been, we need all of you, we need all of us to follow CDC guidance.
The winter season often means hospitals will see an increase in patients, but this year there are even more concerns because of COVID-19. That's why Bessel says they're bringing in over 1,000 healthcare workers from out of state to help out. Banner Health also says when the time comes, they'll be ready to administer vaccines. In the broadcast center, Abigail Verowick, Cronkite News.
The total number of open ICU beds in Arizona has been steadily decreasing since the start of October. As of yesterday, 90% of ICU beds were full. A report released by ASU last week predicted hospitals will begin to exceed capacity in December. So far, the number of ICU beds being used by COVID patients in Arizona has seen a 275% increase since the start of October. That's the highest number the state has seen since August 13th. ICU COVID-19 bed occupancy in the state is now at 27%, while the overall bed occupancy remains at 90%.
Yesterday, Governor Doug Ducey tweeted out that he expects doses of a COVID-19 vaccine to arrive in the state in mid to late December. He said Arizona is working closely with health officials and private sector partners to get the vaccine distributed as quickly and effectively as possible. According to the governor, the vaccine would first be given out to healthcare workers, followed by essential workers like teachers. As for the general public, we can expect to get the vaccine in the early stages of 2021. The state has already enrolled hundreds of providers to prepare to administer the drug when the time comes.
The coronavirus has impacted the lives of so many people, but Native Americans have been hit especially hard during this crisis. That's why the Navajo and Hopi reservations are asking for more funding to combat the virus. According to a Fronteras report, the tribes only have a matter of weeks before they'll run out of resources to provide food boxes for families. To date, the Navajo Nation has reported over 15,000 positive COVID-19 cases and over 600 deaths. To try to slow the spread, they've implemented a 3-week stay-at-home order that began on November 16th and is going to continue until December 6th. The Hopi tribe is also urging households to social distance, saying, quote, "The virus does not move, people move it. If people stop moving, the virus stops moving and dies."
Meanwhile, Pima County is promoting a voluntary curfew in hopes of slowing the spread of the virus. It will last until December 31st, after major holidays like Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Hanukkah. The county is asking residents to be home by 10 p.m. and to not leave their homes until 5 a.m. Again, this curfew is voluntary, not mandatory. According to Pima County's website, the suggested curfew went into effect after the county experienced its highest week of COVID cases, with over 2,500 infections.
There are ups and downs in every holiday season, and while many people enjoy the company of loved ones, others feel it causes them stress. Regardless, with Thanksgiving just 2 days away, the CDC is encouraging little to no family gatherings. So how is this going to affect our mental and physical health? According to a study by the European Society of Cardiology, not being able to see relatives for Thanksgiving and the winter holidays will actually increase the number of health issues. Research has found that social isolation can cause heart disease and high blood pressure. Early reports are expecting stress heart attacks to be more than doubled this year due to the new guidelines. Phoenix cardiologist Dr. Todd Hurst is urging people to stay safe and healthy, but he's also emphasizing the importance of staying connected.
That, it may take effort, but to go out of the usual norms and find a way to make that connection, even when you can't be together physically like we always have been in the past, that's where sometimes technology can lead us down the wrong path. I think social media can lead people to feeling more isolated, but technology like Zoom, like other, texting, those kind of things, redoubling those efforts to stay connected to loved ones, I think that's critically important these days.
Dr. Hurst also encourages individuals to stay active, eat nutritious foods, and practice stress management to prevent these health issues from occurring during the pandemic.
Coming up next on Cronkite News, local food banks are in need of donations now more than ever before. What you can do to lend a helping hand to those in need this holiday season.
Plus, the airline industry is taking a dive in 2020 when sales are expected to soar again, coming up after the break.
Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. And when you support your local station, you can get PBS Passport, giving you access to more episodes, more specials, more of what you love. Ready to watch the best of PBS anytime, anywhere, on nearly any device? It's easy with the free PBS Video app. Simply download the PBS Video app on your mobile or streaming device. Now you can watch the latest PBS episodes or catch up on the shows you missed. Discover new favorites from PBS and local content from your PBS station.
Hey, I'm Rick Steves. I don't go anywhere without my passport. And now, thanks to PBS Passport, you can travel with me and watch all 10 seasons of Rick Steves Europe and all my travel specials. This exclusive streaming service is just for our members. Not only can you see all my shows, but you can see thousands of hours of your favorite public television shows. Become a member today and get your passport.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing.
Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
Here at Cronkite News, we have producers who craft shows that make an impact on our community. Our broadcasts allow students to be involved in all levels of production, from producing to directing. We are guided by highly respected professionals who mentor the journalists of tomorrow. From technical directing to teleprompting and beyond, our production crew works tirelessly to produce meaningful and award-winning shows. We are Cronkite News on Arizona PBS.
As the number of coronavirus cases in Arizona continues to climb, more and more school districts are returning to fully remote learning. The latest example is the Apache Junction United School District, which announced plans to remain online earlier this week. This decision came after an Apache Junction fifth grader tested positive for COVID-19. The switch to virtual classrooms will happen after the Thanksgiving break and will remain that way until at least January 18th. Apache Junction joins the Washington Elementary School District, who began online-only learning yesterday.
As the holidays approach during the pandemic, the state of Arizona has expanded funding for those who need it the most. Reporter Stephanie Rosales shares with us how this contribution is helping bring food to the table.
With Thanksgiving in just a few days and Christmas around the corner, Arizona has provided food banks with $1.6 million to help assist families in need. $600,000 will be going directly to expand St. Mary's food delivery service to seniors.
We were able to get an outside delivery service with that extra money to be able to reach families that we know we haven't been reaching during the pandemic because they're simply afraid to come to the food bank to get the food.
This contribution provided by the state is separate from the Thanksgiving meals St. Mary's will be giving to families.
They're providing over 12,000 Thanksgiving meals this coming Thanksgiving. And aside from that, they provide hundreds of thousands of meals every single year to families in need.
Due to the pandemic, St. Mary's Food Bank has lost around 80% of their volunteers that they would normally get, but some are still staying committed to their goal.
It's good to help out other people who are in need. So if I have the time, why not, go help other people?
They have also been able to get some extra hands through the Arizona National Guard, who have been volunteering since April of last year. Unfortunately, their assistance will end the first 2 weeks into December. Another community has had to look to St. Mary's to help feed their families, as there has been a spike in COVID cases. St. Mary's witnessed an 8-mile-long line from the Navajo Nation waiting to pick up their food, and while 1,200 boxes of food were delivered, not all families had the chance to receive one.
56 chapter houses on the Navajo Nation. We were working with 5 or 6 of them when the pandemic started. We're now working with 54 of the 56 chapters.
St. Mary's has set an all-time record of distributing on average 10 million pounds of food in a month. This is the most they've seen since 53 years ago, the day they opened their doors.
St. Mary's Food Bank has seen a spike in the demand for food since the start of the pandemic, jumping from serving 500 to 600 families in one single day, all the way up to 1,100 families. This number is looking to increase for the Thanksgiving holiday.
In order to follow CDC and health guidelines, St. Mary's is following a no-contact method, where cars are lined around the block waiting to pick up food. This allows families to feel safe by driving in with their cars, volunteers placing their food in their car, and cars driving off.
I think there are a lot of people that are out of work and can't afford to eat. So this is, at least for this time of year, this is providing meals to people that can't afford to get Thanksgiving meals on their own.
St. Mary's continues to gain support from the community through outside donations to help fulfill families' orders. Stephanie Rosales, Cronkite News.
St. Mary's will be closed for Thanksgiving and the day after, but they will be making turkey distributions the days leading up to the holiday. If you want to help out, you can donate at firstfoodbank.org.
Speaking of this holiday weekend, the Arizona DUI Task Force will be all business as usual. According to the state governor's Office of Highway Safety, sobriety checkpoints will be set up across the valley as soon as Wednesday night. They'll be enforced every weekend for the remainder of 2020. Last year, the number of people arrested on suspicion of DUI in Arizona during Thanksgiving weekend was 330, down from 420 arrests the year before. Office Director Alberto Gutierrez says, quote, "We want everyone to enjoy the holiday festivities and to do so responsibly by having a designated driver, calling a friend, a ride service, or taking a taxi home."
The airline industry will lose $157 billion between this year and next year due to the COVID pandemic. According to an industry body, IATA, it's the biggest hit for airlines since World War II. The losses are worse than those sustained during the Great Financial Crisis and 9/11. IATA expects airlines to stop losing money in the fourth quarter of 2021. It says things should improve in the second half of the year as borders reopen and a vaccine becomes more widely available.
2 turkeys took a trip to D.C. to avoid being on a Thanksgiving platter. We'll tell you where they're headed next after the break.
Here we go. Lights up. Whoa. As artists, we conduct our educations in public. You can never know whether it's going to be a success. One just has to risk it.
It's you and the work and the place. It's a very particular relationship.
Here's our lens. Tell us what you think.
Friday night at 9 on Arizona PBS.
I'm Judy Woodruff, anchor and managing editor of the PBS NewsHour. The journalists of tomorrow face a fast-changing media landscape, but quality news remains vitally important to our communities, our country, and our world. At ASU's Walter Cronkite School of Journalism and Mass Communication, students learn solid, reliable reporting, holding the powerful accountable, and rebuilding the public's trust. The Cronkite School and Arizona PBS, preparing the next generation for a stronger future of journalism.
Every day I wake up, my first thought is, how can I serve this community?
The biggest hurdle was not taking PTSD personally.
Would you welcome, please, the amazing. Everybody that watches this, they say that I am the greatest that they've ever seen.
You know, they say that every dog has its day, but it's rare for a turkey to get his, especially in November. But two of the luckiest birds traveled to D.C. from Iowa to receive presidential pardons. The thankful birds were raised from day one to be the national Thanksgiving turkeys by sixth-generation farmer Ron Cardell and his wife, Susie.
For us and our family, it's a huge honor. We get to take our kids and our grandkids into the Rose Garden. We get to meet the president and his wife.
Pardon the turkeys in a Rose Garden ceremony, as presidents have done for decades. From D.C., the turkeys will make their way back to Iowa to live the rest of their lives on the Iowa State campus. That's it for Cronkite News tonight. Thank you for joining us.
For top Arizona stories anytime, go to cronkitenews.azpbs.org.